How many times have you been let down or disappointed by somebody who you expected to do something, but they didn't do it? You had high hopes that they would live up to your expectations. When somebody lets you down, whose fault is it? Is it the person who you expected to do that thing, or is it your fault for having those expectations that weren't met? How many times have you thought that somebody understood what you expected out of a particular situation, and you assume that they understood your expectations? You assume that they would be the romance you desired, or the friend that you needed, or the person that shows up and helps you fix your car. Welcome back to another episode of Sweat Talk. My name is Chad, and if we look at this situation that I'm describing, it's easy to realize that the problem isn't them. The problem is our expectations of others. When we feel let down, most of the time it's going to be our fault, and that's because of the way that we believe that they should act, or the way that they should behave. We unknowingly give them the power to control our emotions. But what if we began accepting people for who they are, and not for who we believe that they should be, but for who they truly are? We should never expect anybody to fit into a box that we made for them. And it reminds me of when I was a teenager. My friends, they would date these girls that expected them to change for these girls, right? I used to make fun of them for bending over backwards to meet these expectations, and it was because these relationships, they were built on false promises. Instead of these girls, instead of them accepting their boyfriends for who they are, they tried to mold them into what they wanted, and it never worked out. And I say that because none of my friends changed anything. They just did whatever it was that they were going to do behind their girlfriends' backs. And those relationships, they never worked out. It's a doomed setup, because relationships like that, they're based off those expectations rather than acceptance. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have boundaries or standards, because we should. But there's a big difference between having healthy standards of a situation or of a person, rather than unhealthy expectations of someone. And let's be honest, society does not help us here. Because society loves to tell us like who we should be, or what we should be, and at what point in our lives, or at what age, by what year we should be there. You're expected to graduate by a certain age. You're to have a steady career, to get married, to have children, and it's all based off of somebody else's timeline, or somebody else's expectations. So then when you don't meet those benchmarks, what happens? You feel like a failure. And the pressure to conform, it's not only unhealthy, but it's just downright toxic. It forces us to live inauthentically, and constantly compare ourselves to others, and strive to meet some unrealistic social or societal norms. But here's the truth, life doesn't follow some universal script, and no one's journey is going to be the same. When we blindly follow those societal expectations or those societal norms, then in the process we are going to lose who we truly are. We make choices not because they resonate with us, but because we feel pressured to check boxes on somebody else's list. I believe that this is why so many people live a life that's unfulfilled, even when they have everything, and it's because they're living a life that's not truly theirs. So think about this for a minute. How much of your life is driven by what you genuinely want versus what you think you should want? Because that distinction, it matters. It matters because the societal pressures and the societal norms, they're going to breed comparison. We see somebody who might be more successful, or more attractive, or seemingly more accomplished, and it leaves us feeling inadequate. Social media, it's only amplified this problem. You scroll through the highlight reels of other people's lives, and then suddenly your life, it seems small and insignificant. But let me remind you that those highlight reels they're not real. They're curated, and they're built that way on purpose. Have you guys seen that there's a lot of YouTube creators, a lot of YouTube influencers sitting on like what looks to be personal jets. There's actually a company out there that will rent their jet and take pictures of you inside of their jet, their Learjet or whatever it is, for $80, so that these YouTube creators or these Instagram models or whoever can go sit in a what looks or appears to be a personal jet, so that they can impress people who are going to click on that and who are going to listen to what they're telling them based off of status. The shit is not real. The cars that the Lamborghinis and all this stuff, it's not real. You know, obviously some of it is, but the majority of it, it's all made up garbage. And these are the people that the world is comparing themselves to. They're not seeing the full picture. But then when we constantly compare ourselves to other people, then we're robbing ourselves of the joy of our own journey. Instead of asking yourself, you know, why am I not where they are? Start asking yourself, you know what? Am I living my life authentically? You know, am I pursuing what truly matters to me? When you shift your focus from societal expectations to personal fulfillment, then everything changes. You stop caring what other people think, and you stop allowing other people's opinions dictate your self-worth. And you begin to live with a sense of freedom that most people will only dream of, you know. And I mean, it isn't easy though, you know, because breaking free from these societal expectations, it requires unlearning an entire lifetime worth of conditioning. It means setting boundaries and you know, not just with people, but also for the narratives that you allow to control and shape your life. But I think probably one of the most powerful things is when you learn to let go of those expectations, then you're teaching yourself to let go of the disappointment as well. You know, because you're able to stop getting disappointed when other people don't act the way that you think they should, or when somebody else doesn't do something that you expected them to do. You stop wasting energy trying to change people who don't want to change, and then instead you're able to direct that same energy inward. You focus on what you can control, you know, your thoughts, your actions and your reactions. And you know, like this mindset, it doesn't just make you stronger, but it also makes you more compassionate, because you're able to start seeing people for who they are and not for who you want them to be. And then most of the time you're going to be able to realize that they're doing the best that they can with what it is that they know. When you let go of those expectations, then you allow yourself to experience life in a more authentic way. You know, you stop chasing validation and you start seeking connection, and you know, you're able to stop comparing and start appreciating. You know, you'll also be able to begin to understand that the only person that you need to meet any expectations is you. You know, this also applies to the bigger social norms too, right? Like, I mean, let's look at how society puts value on all of these material possessions. You know, we're constantly being told that we need to buy the bigger house or we need to have the fancier car, we need to buy those designer clothes, you know, just so that we can prove our worth. I mean, that's all based off of expectations, right? Because it's a belief that success is going to be measured by what you own. But the truth is no amount of material possession or no amount of material wealth is going to fill the void of living a life inauthentically. And we know this because you can have the fanciest car on the block and you can still feel empty. You see it all the time, because fulfillment doesn't come from things, you know, it's going to come from living a life that is in alignment with your values and your purpose. So here's the hard truth, you know, if you want to be able to break free from the hidden costs of those social expectations, then you have to stop giving a damn what other people perceive of you. It means letting go of that need for approval. It means being okay with disappointing other people because you're staying true to yourself. I mean, it means that understanding that not everybody is going to understand your journey, but that's okay, you know, because I firmly believe that when you live your life authentically, then you're going to become a magnet for the right people. You know, the ones that the people that accept you for who you are, and the ones that are going to encourage you to grow. You know, the ones that they're going to remind you that it's okay to be different. Stop letting these societal expectations dictate your life, and start questioning everything that you've been taught over the entire course of your life. You know, when you do that, then you're going to be able to start living a life that feels true to you. And when you do, then you'll be able to realize that the only expectations that actually matter are the expectations that you have on yourself or for yourself. And then that's where the real freedom begins. So if you made it this far, do me a favor and go down in the comment section and write that word truth. Do us all a favor and write that word truth. Because the truth is being hidden from us. We've been told to act and live and be in a certain way and at a certain point to meet somebody else's agenda, to fill somebody else's timeline. And the truth is people are starting to wake up. And we all need to wake up, not just a select few people and not just some people. Everybody needs to wake up. The history books, the nutrition, the everything across our entire lives, with all of these social expectations and all of these societal norms, they're all garbage. We've all been lied to our entire lives. And as soon as we wake up, we will truly be able to live the life that we dream of. So I ask for these one-word comments because they do a couple of things. You know, they help us reprogram our subconscious mind, because when we see something over and over and over, then that's how we're going to do it. That when we do something and see it and feel it and experience it over and over and over, then it's going to do something positive for us. And then it's also one thing that you can do to help support the channel, because every time the algorithm sees these interactions, the likes, the comments, and when somebody subscribes, then it appeases the algorithm, and it's going to be more likely to push this content out to other people who might find value in it as well. So it's just an easy way to support the channel. But if you guys want to support the channel in other ways, and in the description I'm going to put a link to our new online store with some Sweat Talk swag and a supplement line that we just created called Self-Made Supplements. Go check that stuff out. I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. A lot of people are liking it so far. I know I do. I enjoy them as well. So that's all I got for today. I want to thank you guys for showing up. I want to thank all of those super thanks that you guys keep giving me and my family, and it truly does blow me away, the generosity that you guys show me all the time, every single day, and I truly am grateful. So I want to thank you guys for showing up. I hope you guys are showing up for yourselves, and I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful day. Peace.